Man, bro, this Devon Marshall from North Carolina State can play.
Yeah. Don't let the 4.64 fool you on the time speed.
Brad, that's what he ran?
Yeah.
I ain't see it like that.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like watching Terrell play at Clemson. Yeah. You know, you're going to have to make a determination out there. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to. When you watch this kid play from North Carolina State, when you watch Marshall play, you see a guy knocking passes down. You see a guy driving on the ball. You see a guy playing physical and press coverage.
I didn't know he was 5'11" until I looked it up that he was 5'11". He plays like somebody that's 6 foot or maybe 6'1".
Yeah.
I don't know what his arm length is, but it seems like he's got arm length enough to kind of, bat down pass and stuff like that. Brian, super competitive as all get out. Whenever he's breaking up, he getting up, celebrating, getting in guys' face and stuff like that. I love that. I thought he saw routes really well, just as a man cover dude. Even if he's in zone and it's like matchy type stuff, where he's got to do man things anyway. I value man cover guys a little bit more. I think a lot of dudes can play zone, and some dudes end up playing zone because they can't do nothing else, or that's just what they coaches call. But I think if every coach had lockdown man cover corners, I think coaches just play cover one a lot more. You just can't do that because everybody don't have lockdown corners in that way. So I just value man coverage a little bit more. And Devon Marshall can play some damn man coverage.
Sure can.
He fights the ball all the way to the ground, to the sideline, very active player. I didn't think he had an issue coming up and tackling guys or anything like that. Speed probably, I didn't see when you watch like Malik Muhammad.
Bursty.
Malik Muhammad got a lot of bursts, got a lot of speed on him, right?
Twitchy.
I don't necessarily see a bursty, speedy guy for Devon Marshall.
Sure.
I even saw guys kind of get away from him a little bit, but I thought he recovered well when they got away from him, Now, what happens when those dudes get a little faster in the league, then that's something that we need to have a conversation about, Brian. But I thought he was always in the right spot relatively, even if guys got away from him. Something else I liked about him, too, and this could be a dislike thing, but I just – I see new styles of play all the time, is, some corners look back and find the football. Mm-hmm. He doesn't always look back and find the football, right? He got a bunch of pass deflections, though.
Yeah.
He's really good at reacting to the receiver's hands.
Yeah.
He's really good at that, right?
He reads the routes well.
He reads routes really well. So I think he got like 12 batted down passes.
Led the nation in passes defense.
He got a ton of them, Brian, but he doesn't have interceptions. So in my mind, what are coaches for, right? If you can coach him to be like, hey, man, kind of get your eyes around. Maybe you'll have some picks. But if he's a guy that don't get picks, but he bat balls down because he read the eyes of the receiver, the hands of the receiver, and he breaks all that up, dude, knock yourself out. I thought he was better than guys like Will Lee. I thought he was better than Takario Davis from Washington, Julian Neal. I like Demings a lot, but competition and stuff matters to me, so I got Davis ranked over those guys. I got a 4 on him, Brian.
Yeah, the thing with Marshall and
that's how we know what grades we got on these people. Because I'd be like, oh, I got a 4 on him, Brian. What you got on him?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I've got exactly.
That's how we know.
That's how we know.
So please go ahead.
No, and that's the whole thing. I listen. Scouts are probably going to bury this kid because he ran a 4.64. Mm-hmm. Probably going to bury him for that. I'm not going to be one of those guys, and I don't think VOCH is one of those guys right now. This guy is a damn good football player. Yeah. He transferred from Villanova, and your VOCH is right. You don't see a bursty or twitchy, but what you see is a super smart player. Mm-hmm. What you see a guy that knows how to read routes. With a guy that kind of gets his eyes, plays really the eye discipline he plays with, when he pedals, when he turns, when he drives on the football. These are all things that if you lack speed, you better be able to do something else. And he's able to do that. I mean, he's got a real feel. You can line him up like VOCH is talking about. You can line him up at man, and he's just banging on the receiver the whole time down the field. But he's doing it in a way that he's not going to get called for penalties and get called for holdings and things like that. So he's going to do stuff when play well in space. He's going to tackle. He's going to drive on the ball. He just doesn't have great time speed. And a lot of teams will say, well, he doesn't run well enough. And like I said earlier, that's the whole thing with what we're seeing now with Terrell. Everybody's now Terrell from Clemson is like, oh, first round. Oh, he ran that. Mm-hmm. He ran that. Now we're looking at a completely different player. Film tells you the story about this guy. So you can't bury this guy. You really can't. I know you have him in the 4th. I have him behind Lee from Texas A&M. But I do have him above all those other guys you're talking about, like the two Washington kids, Demings. I have him above those guys. He very well could be, when we're working on the draft, who do you got left in the 4th round you really like? Yeah. We're going to start talking about traitsy guys, kind of like traitsy kinds of players. Sure. And then you're going to need to focus on Marshall and say, well, who's the best player? Yeah. Marshall's tape shows up as the best player. The 4th round grade, I think, on your behalf is very, very fair. I put him in the 5th myself, but I put him in the top of the 5th. He could be a 1.48 for me, 1.47, something like that. And but like I said, I got him like in a 1.50, top of the 5th round.
You know, it's interesting when you talk about traits guys, right? And I kind of look at traits guys in a way of, all right, we've run out of good football players. Here are the traits guys that we can probably like develop or whatever. I still think it's fascinating that we're still in the range of good football players.
We are.
Like, we're still finding good, like what I would consider traits guy, right? Isaiah World is a bona fide traits guy.
Right.
6'7", great feet, great length and all that kind of stuff. Doesn't know how to play football quite yet. So you take him, you teach him the O-line stuff, the O-line feet, the O-line hands, and maybe he could develop into be something else. So that's why I got he's in the extras. He might go 6'7" undrafted, I don't know. But he's a traits guy that you can develop, but he's not ready to play right now. Some of these players, Brian, I could see a world where some of these dudes playing for you. Like they getting snaps for you. Stribbling, Marshall, I can see these guys playing
right
now in certain situations, of course.